Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought we'll speak about the small tweaks that I made to my life that help me improve my quality of life. Firstly, I believe that self-improvement is a never-ending journey. There's always room to be a better version of ourselves each and every day. So we need to keep trying to improve regardless of our life situation and regardless of what is happening around us. And I'm going to do this video in two parts. And today what we're going to discuss is ego, love and relationships, and the last part's discipline. Point number one, ego. Now, a very popular cricket commentator and one of my favorites, Harsha Bhogle, once said that success breeds an ego. What he means by that is when you're always successful in life, you kind of get into this headspace where you feel you are, top shit and you are the greatest, or everyone else is kind of somewhat beneath you. Now, anyone who follows my Instagram page or follows me on YouTube knows that I'm a huge fan of failure. Failure where you actually give your heart and soul and fail, because failure humbles you. And the things that you learn there are essential in self-improvement. What I don't like about ego is that it gets us into this mind frame where we believe that we are above the rest. And that's why we feel that how dare did this person speak to me this way? And how I dealt with that is that it's never okay to put yourself down. There's no need to beat yourself up and say that you're beneath anyone, but there's no reason for you to say that you're above anyone as well. What I also don't like about ego is that ego does not let us learn from somebody else, and it also does not let us give other people enough credit for what they do. For example, I've recently started this YouTube channel, and I know that there is huge room for improvement with editing and also with structure and delivery. If I had an ego, I would not look at successful YouTubers and pick what is it that they do right that makes their channel work or get them so many subscribers. But if I don't have an ego, I'll be looking at all these YouTubers who are doing so very well for themselves. And I can actually say that, oh fine, oh this person's doing that, or this person's doing this. And that is exactly what's going to help me improve and make this channel a lot better. So the first thing you need to do is try and get rid of your ego. Now this is a really long process and it took me years to do that. Even though I actually didn't have a really big ego. I was never really egoistic because I had various failures in my life and I was really not good at anything I did, so I could not really have an ego. But the second part I'd like to speak about is love and relationships. Now, however successful we are, it is irrelevant if we are not happy in our personal lives, if we are not happy with our families, with our parents, with our spouses, our children. Life really isn't worth living. So when my first girlfriend broke up with me, I was absolutely devastated. And because I did not have that bigger ego, I actually thought, what was it that I did wrong in this relationship? And let me try and not have as many vices as possible in my next relationship. So I was possessive. We weren't living an individual life. Everything was together. I used to get angry at the slightest of things. So you could say that, yes, I did have an anger issue there, which I worked on. And her happiness never really kind of made me very happy. And I was also a really jealous person. So I worked on all these things. And in my current relationship, we are firstly friends. And even though we are together, we are individuals first. We have our own opinions. We do suggest to each other what we think would be good in a particular situation. For example, my wife is looking to buy a car. I wouldn't force my opinion onto her. I would say, look, here's what I think. Here's the car I think you should get because of so and so reason. And then it's up to her. And we are also overly happy for each other's success. If my wife actually is successful at something, I'm more happier than her for her success at that point. And it's the same from her side. If something goes well in my life, she is just absolutely thrilled for me. Now that works very well in our lives, but that came from learning through previous relationships as to what we did wrong and then fixing those things. And we can only fix those things if we actually don't have an ego, because ego will say that you were right, you were correct, you did this certain thing because this person acted a certain way. Now, when you take the ego out, you see all your flaws. It's right there in front of you. There's nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. You've got to face them and you've got to fix them. The last part I'd like to speak about is discipline. I truly believe that however talented you are or whatever is meant for you, you're not going to get it if you are not disciplined. I was never disciplined. I was the worst possible person when it came to discipline. I had absolutely zero discipline growing up. But what changed for me and where I learned discipline was from food. Surprising, but yes, I know food actually taught me how to be disciplined. Just a couple of years back, I came across this quote by Umar Farooq that said that if you can control what you can eat and drink, you can control everything else. And that is so true, because our world right now is just filled with temptation. Wherever we go to a mall, we go to the movies, we go to a club, there is delicious food. And if we can control what we put in our body, we can actually start controlling different aspects of our life, and we can actually be more disciplined. What I mean to say is that if we are disciplined with food, we can be disciplined in our personal lives as well. I started this journey in 2016 when I went to a dietitian and had a portion controlled 6-meal-a-day diet, and I absolutely struggled to keep up with it. After a year or so, I kind of got used to weighing my food, eating my food a certain way, eating certain kinds of food, and avoiding certain things. But not having those meals as and when I fancied taught me discipline. Eventually, the discipline that I built with food helped me in my personal lives. I became more disciplined as a person, and that helped me grow a lot. So I would highly recommend that you work on these 3 points that we've discussed about. The first thing is work on the ego, work on your relationships, and lastly, work on discipline, because it is only with discipline that you can let your talent shine. As always, hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for your time. I'm very grateful.